Hello and welcome to the preview of the Swift Business Forum Ireland, being held in Dublin on the 30th of April. I'm Kimberley Long, Asia Editor of The Banker, and I'm speaking with Deputy Editor Joy Macknight about the focus of the Irish banking sector. So Joy, thanks for speaking with me ahead of the forum. So this is the first time that Swift has held the forum in Ireland, and the focus is really going to be on the Irish banking sector. So the Irish banking sector was really hit during the global financial crisis. How has it been recovering, and what do you see as the developments of the future for the sector?
Okay, yeah, they did take a massive hit during the global financial crisis, and this decade has been quite difficult for them, but they're really making some progress, I'd say. The top three banks, which is Allied Irish Banks and Bank of Ireland, which are sort of the big two in Ireland, plus Permanent TSB, they've done really well in building up their capital levels, so I think that's really important. This has been they've had this backdrop of a very buoyant Irish economy. It's been the top performing EU economy for the past 4 years, up until 2018. There is some expectation of a bit of slowing in the economy, but I think it still will be quite strong in the next 2 years as well. The other things that the banks have done is really dealt with their non-performing loans. So they had a lot of bad debt built off the housing bubble that burst, but they've been really dealing with that. So all in all, they're coming out of it quite strong.
So even though the banks are really starting to recover, they're still facing quite a lot of challenges. What are the main challenges that they see now?
All right, profitability, that's one challenge. So they recorded a drop in profits, all three banks, over the past year. So that is a bit of an issue. The other issue is really around state ownership. So AIB, for example, and PTSB the state owns over 70% of those banks. Bank of Ireland, on the other hand, is only about 14%. But no matter what, the state's ownership has a bit of a constraint on what the banks can do. So, for example, they have a cap of 500,000 euros for top executive pay, and they have a ban on bonuses. Now that's going to have a long-term effect on their ability to attract talent, especially at a time when other banks are shifting their operations from, let's say, London to Dublin because of the UK leaving Europe. So that's a big issue. Okay. And the other thing, of course, is the increased competition that's happening in Ireland. So you have the challenger banks like N26, Revolut, even Starling Bank is now talking about moving into the market, and that's going to create some issues for the big incumbents.
So with the challenger banks coming in, and then with all the issues around Brexit as well having an influence on the country, what do you see as being the future for the Irish banks?
Well, I think they still have a strong future. AIB and Bank of Ireland have already started on their digital transformation journey to really try and increase and improve customer experience, as well as reduce the cost-to-income ratio and things. So they're trying to be more efficient with what they have, trying to overcome their legacy technology issues. PTSB is a bit further behind, but they've also embarked on that journey. So that's a really good thing. The other thing is in terms of Brexit, I think both the industry and the supervisors think that they have enough contingency plans in place to really come out of that without that much scratch. And the last thing is that they're very conscious, the Irish banking industry is very conscious about rebuilding sort of the public trust that maybe they had lost during the financial crisis, and so that's top of mind for them. So it's a challenge, but I think they're well positioned to go forward.
Great, well, it sounds like there'll be a really interesting discussion taking place at the Swift Forum in Dublin later this month. So thanks very much for speaking with me.